Yo, 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 yo.
It's your boy Uchay. I got my boy
QDeezy.
We are the ill-advised wise guys.
Check out the full podcast, link below.
Yo, 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 yo. We are the ill-advised wise guys. It's your boy Uchay. I got my boy
QDeezy for Sheezy. It's way too easy. AKA the Widow's Peak Bandit. AKA Daddy, Mr. Daddy Longlegs. AKA Michael Gordon. AKA Mr. Steal Your Spaghetti. AKA taking PTO whenever I need to. What's up?
That's it? Wait, that's all you got? Yo, I thought there was more, man.
I have several other monikers.
Keep it going, bro. No, actually, that was a joke. No. Please do that on your own time. We have a special guest. He's been back. This is the third time he's on the show. I feel like I'm Vince McMahon giving the damn intro to a wrestling match. This is Jordan Lowe for the third time on the Ill-Advised Wise Guys podcast. Say what's up, bro.
Yo, what's good? What's good? Look, at this point, bro, I'm damn near a permanent co-host, bro. I ain't going. 3 times?
Three.
Here, bro. I'm happy to be here, yo. Let's get into it, man. I'm excited.
Yes, sir. Me too.
Three times the charm, man. Yo, I'm actually really excited to have you on. Mostly because, I was going back because I was like, man, when is the last time we had Jordan on the episode? And it was last year in December. I went and checked.
Y'all have you listen to that Meek Mill? We did a Meek Mill review or something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what we did.
I said I'm never coming back.
I remember it was expensive pain. I remember that. Yo, Jordan was going in, bro. He hates Meek Mill. Go back and listen to that episode. He hates him. Hopefully,
it's constructive criticism.
There was nothing constructive
There's no
about
hate.
Jordan's
It was
opinion.
all constructive.
I'm just letting you guys know if you want to go back and check it out. It's on episode 110. Y'all go check that out. Anyway, this is episode 130 of the Ill-Advised Wise Guys podcast. Shout out to y'all for pulling up on us as always. If you're a new listener, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like button. And, if you'd like to say something to us, whether it's constructive or not, go to the comments section on YouTube. Hit our DM, hit our email, spam us with topics. Do what you got to do to get in contact with us. But we do like when you guys engage with us. So got to throw that out there, man. Ain't that right, Q? How many times you been cussed out?
That is true. I get cussed out all the time. You know what's cool to do, especially if you're a woman, viewer of our show. Go through the episodes like on our Instagram page, right? And just look at how the different levels of sexy you get from me. Like sometimes I got the full beard, sometimes I got the shave. Like today I'm rocking the Pedro from 90 Day Fiance look, the barely mustache and then this, Pedro, Chantel, family Chantel.
Yeah, I don't know how many times you got to make this intro cringy, but you never seem to, amaze me, man. You did it again, man.
Hey,
Go
man,
get a room. Go get a room or something, man. Go get a room with yourself. How about that?
You gotta stop hating, bro. You gotta stop hating. You gotta lift up your black brother.
Hey,
man.
come on, you gotta lift us up,
king,
bro.
Hey, yo, bro.
Look.
Yo, let me lift him up. Don't lift yourself up. Damn. Like,
You was taking too long, bro. In this lifetime, please.
Oh man, yo, this is going to be a dope episode. I already like the energy right now, man. I like it. But let's jump into some announcement before we get into the actual episode. As per usual, make sure you guys go to the description, stream the Zero Skips playlist. It features some of some indie artists that we really want you guys to check out and that you maybe never heard before. Check it out, man. I think it's worth you guys' time. It's only on Spotify. Not that they're paying us, but if they want to, that's cool too. Y'all go check out the Zero Skips playlist streaming right now. ASAP, like Rocky.
ASAP.
Q. What we doing? Talk to me.
Oh boy, what we doing? Check out Radies Gabe Music, RGM in other countries. I recently reviewed SG's new album. I Never Felt None. I thought it was actually pretty good.
Whoa.
What?
Did you just say S? You mean ESTG?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. Who is that?
Who
Oh,
the
is it
hell is
SG?
Bro, it's ESTG. That's how you
it's
pronounce the man's name,
ESTG?
bro. Yes,
Oh,
yes, sir.
I thought it was SG. Oh, my bad. Or they call him G-Ski too, also. So let's just call him
This
G-Ski.
guy said
I-
SG.
Bro,
I-
who is that?
He's a Louisville rapper that's blowing up. But you was being I was like, I thought. Wait. Is it really ESTG?
Bro,
really?
it's ESTG. Trust me.
Yes.
Just trust me.
Oh damn.
Don't question it. See, man, just take my lead, man. It's okay.
I be sucking on these names. It's like ESTG, Six Slack. Oh
Six
man,
Slack.
Slacko.
You got to tap in, bro.
Yo, I guess I just never heard him say his name.
Maybe. It's possible.
What 42 Doug too? I didn't know it was 42. I thought it was 42.
Facts.
42 Doug.
That
But
one's not that
anyway.
bad though. It's cool. Don't worry about
Okay.
it. Man.
Okay. Thank you. But
Continue with the announcement.
it's EST, isn't that S?
Bro, it's cool.
Okay,
It's
anyway,
cool.
all right,
Continue, man.
And then we got Simba. I'm gonna be. Is his name Simba or Simba?
I think it's Simba, actually. Yeah, it's Simba.
Is it seriously
Yeah.
Simba?
I didn't
Nah,
know.
hell no, bro. It's Simba, man. I'm fucking around.
Okay. Thank you. All right.
What's wrong with you guys, man?
All right, Simba. I'm sick today, man. I told you, take it easy. Take it easy. You don't see I got my tea. I actually woke up very sick today. I got my
Okay.
tea on my Wizard's cup. You know, I got
Fair-
my
fair
whiskey.
enough.
I'm sick.
Fair enough.
But yeah, we got those. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. QDeezy for Sheezy. The Widow's Peak Bandit, respectively.
RGM. Y'all make sure y'all go tap in, man.
Yeah.
ASAP. Tap into RGM, ratingsgamemusic.com. I got to echo that. Best music review site on the planet.
Wow.
Please take our word for it.
On the planet.
I hate
On
when
this
people say-
particular planet.
I hate
this
when
one.
people say, don't take my word for it. No. Take my word for it. Please.
Okay.
Just take it.
Who says don't take my word for it?
That's what people say.
They said-
I don't know why.
Oh,
I don't get it. I never got when people say that. Like, what the fuck? Nigga, take my word for it. That's you should take my word.
Okay.
But anyway, Jordan, you got any announcements?
New podcast, Work for Hire. Full episode is releasing tomorrow. I don't know when this episode
Yes,
is
sir.
coming out, but it's coming out on September 18th. Type in Work for Hire, HIGHER, not HIRE. You know what I'm saying? Hey, it's coming out. It's heat. Tap in.
I love
Definitely
it.
got to tune in.
I
Definitely.
love it. I love it.
That's a dope title too.
It's
Work for Hire.
very
To play
dope.
on the. It has everything.
WFH. So like work from home. It could be a lot of different
Work
acronyms.
for Hire.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Boom.
Yeah, I see what you did. I see what you did there.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You know, it's
sir.
funny. That's something
go
I
ahead.
would click on. Like if being a podcast like head, like if I was somebody that always listened to podcasts, that's something I would click on. It's almost like Netflix. Yesterday, I was scrolling through Netflix, and I was like, "Yo, did you notice the true crime documentaries? From now on, they starting to put like a picture of somebody and then they blur it out. Have y'all noticed that? Like they blur out the face.
Nah.
So that's the new way to get people to click on documentaries. Like have the image of somebody and then blur the picture out of the person's face. It looks scary and it looks interesting. So that's kind of when you play with words like that.
Yeah.
It makes me want to click on a podcast, man.
Yes, sir.
Yo, Jordan, what's the podcast about, man? How, and like, where can the people check it out at?
So to keep it short, man, the podcast is about three creatives navigating through the industry, talking about the growing pains of just being a creative. And basically, we're going to cover all of that. We're going to try to tap in with our industry connections, get them to pull up. We're going to talk about current events and how they relate to a much bigger issue. Just try to pump out the best content as possible consistently. And you can check it out on anywhere there's podcasts. YouTube, our Instagram page is Work for Hire Pod. You know what I'm saying? And all the clips will be rolling out there on TikTok as well. So just tap in, man. Tap in.
I love it, man. I love it. I'm looking forward to checking out them episodes, man. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm gonna check it out, man.
Thank you, bro.
Because I already know you got some guests in the tuck that people may want to check out, and that includes us, man. Have us on the show, bro.
Yo,
like, what's
next
good?
time y'all here, bro. Next
What's
time
the
y'all
deal?
here.
Oh, hell yeah.
What's the deal?
They still raising the roof.
You saw how I threw that? You saw how I threw ourselves in there? Like,
I
man,
like
you gotta,
that. I
you gotta
like
slide
that.
up in there, man.
Why,
What's
George-
good?
Oh, yeah.
George's like, nah. George's like, nah. I ain't opening the door when he pulls up. I'm like, yo, Jordan, I'm outside. He's like, oh, he looked through the peephole. Oh, nah, damn. Shit.
Yo, he actually came.
He came through. Oh man, yeah, but no, y'all get over there, y'all subscribe to the podcast. Salute to them brothers for starting that show. Now, let's get into what we're talking about on this episode. Y'all ready, fellas?
Let's go.
So,
Always ready.
we're going to be talking about how important an artist's image is, right? I know. Listen, we all have favorite artists out there. We know why we like them. It could be how they dress. It could be whether it's a girl. It could be, damn, she's so bad. It could be anything. Like, you got to think about it. Artists have inspired a whole generation in terms of an image for ages, right? It's never going to go away. We got to acknowledge it. And sometimes we subconsciously like people because of their look. We're going to talk about how that impacts the overall landscape of things, and just maybe even name some artists that, we tend to kind of gravitate towards or lack thereof when it comes to their image, right? After that, we're going to talk about whether or not women are evaluated, at least not as harshly as guys are when it comes to rap, right? Like, do we lower the bar for women rappers? I tend to see a lot of times when males are evaluated, the conversation is very centered on, damn, they ain't drop a classic. Damn, what about the classic? They ain't dropped they ain't got the song of the year. They ain't got a classic. But when it comes to women, like, we don't even really and when I say we, I'm speaking of the landscape. Like, the conversation is never really about how good the music is. Is that a problem? Does that kind of like hurt the other women who really take their craft seriously? We're gonna have a little conversation about that, because I think that there's a lot of different ways we can kind of go about that, at least conversation. After that, we're gonna talk about how do you judge good music, right? Like, what are the things that go into music that says, all right, this is a good song, this is a good album, this is a good artist at the end of the day? And then also, with that being said, do you have artists that are widely considered as bad artists that you actually rock with and you would probably be in the minority about? I think that's an interesting one. Hopefully you guys have a lot to say about that, and you guys listening as well. But first, we're going to talk about what should rappers do to make things safer. I think safer for themselves. I should really specify, this is a really interesting time we're living in, man. I don't know if there's ever been a time in hip hop where these many high profile rappers are dying tragically at this rate. I'll say at the rate. It's not that it's never happened. We talking about the rate in which it's occurring. Is this because they're doing something on their own that they should stop? Is it the public is just out of control and they don't respect the rappers? It's like, there's so many questions I have, but I'm going to toss this to our guest because I'm very curious to know what you think about this, Jordan. Is it the rappers' fault? Do they need to switch things up, or should the public just knock it off with the violence and whatnot? Where you stand on this?
Listen, man, I think the public is going to do what the public does, right? So it's kind of impossible for us to literally check every single individual and make sure that they're on the right path. I think what we can do, though, is I think the rappers have to make the conscious decision that they want to be safe. That might look like not downplaying and talking shit about rappers who have security. That might mean, not eating at the Roscoe's in Inglewood. Like, why are you in Inglewood? There's tons of Roscoe's. You could go to Hollywood. RP to P&B Rock. I know it's a sensitive situation, but that might mean for somebody like Quando Rondo, if you're banging a certain gang in a different state, you don't know the politics in LA. So, like, you're just rolling around. You don't know what's going on. Something might happen. You know what I mean? So I think, honestly, rappers as a whole, they need to understand, like, we have to move smarter. We have to maybe leave our homeboys at the crib and actually hire some trained security. Maybe if we want things to be different, like if we're tired of saying RIP to our homeboys and our peers, maybe we have to change what we rap about. I don't know. I'm not going to be the hip hop police right here, but honestly, I think rappers have to make the decision that they want to change. Don't have one foot in and one foot out. Don't be making fun of people for having security and making fun of people for this, that, and the third. But then when something happens to your homeboy, now you're all sad. maybe you have to pick a side and you have to stand there. You have to be there. And so at the end of the day, rappers are like superheroes to us. We look up to them. You know what I mean? So it's going to take the people in the spotlight to change, not the people consuming it. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at with it.
That was great. That's an amazing take. I mean, yeah, it's such a sensitive subject just because of the PNB Rock situation. Because, you know, at a certain point, it's like PNB, in this case, PNB was just getting some food. You know what I mean? There's speculation on how the people, you know, came in there and got him. Yes. But nobody knows. I mean, they're saying that the woman shared her story or whatever. Nobody really knows exactly what happened. But what we do know happened is that, you know, he was at a restaurant eating and somebody confronted him. And it's like at a certain point, it's like, damn, they're confronting you. They're confronting you at traffic lights. They're confronting you at the gas station. They're confronting you at restaurants. Yeah. They're breaking into your house. I just feel like in the world that we're living in today, everybody wants to get a quick lick. Like everybody wants to make money real quick. Mm-hmm. So, you know, when they see somebody wearing jewelry or they see somebody talking about, you know, how much money they have, their belts or watch, that's a quick lick. That's almost like hitting, and if you're a gambler, that's like hitting a parlay. Yeah. I mean, the amount of money that you can get by pawning that stuff. So it's interesting. There's a song that I really like by Life Jennings called Stick Up Kid. Mm-hmm. And if you guys know, y'all know Life Jennings. Life Jennings, amazing singer, but like Life Jennings was from the hood. Like Life Jennings, I believe, was homeless. So in the Stick Up Kid song, he's actually talking about how, like, what was I supposed to do? You guys were flashing all this stuff in my face. You put it on the music videos and things like that. Obviously, it's making me more jealous. It's making me want to actually go and rob you or whatever, you know. So the question is, you know, how does that mean that the content has to change? Like, does that mean that if you're going to stand by it, does that mean you got to take, kind of like what you were saying, Jordan, does that mean you got to take the necessary moves to protect yourself? Because something's got to give. I don't know if it's the content that got to give. Ooch, help me out on here. Is it the content that got to give, or is it that, like, you know, we just got to be more aware? I'm gonna
just be very blunt here.
Because sorry. Before you say the reason I was gonna say this was because
go ahead, bro.
How much of this situation is jealousy? How much of this
a lot of it? It's a lot of it. I mean, of course.
How much of it is I just needed money? How much of it is jealousy? How much of it is envy? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So here's the thing, man. Like, you know what I don't like about what was happening with this conversation? Not us, but like the overall conversation surrounding PNB Rock, who was tragically killed. Which, rest in peace to PNB Rock, of course, right? Like, I'm sure when he went out that day, he did not think he was gonna die, and so that's a tragedy nonetheless. Like, we have to just point that out there. But like, what I don't like about this conversation is that we make a lot of excuses for people, and then that includes rappers. We make too many excuses. Way too many excuses for people in their actions and their potential poor decision making. Like, let's just call a spade, right? PNB Rock going to a very dangerous area as a high profile individual, wearing a lot of jewelry, pulling up in a Wraith. That's not a smart decision. It's not. And that doesn't mean he deserved to die. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means, I think we got to start just calling like it is for what it is. Like, rappers have to make smarter decisions. That's it. And I think one of the smarter decisions, like you guys are pointing to, is getting security. That's a smart call. And I ain't talking about getting your homeboy, like you said, Jordan. Like, get a maybe ex-police officer, somebody who's tapped in with the community, somebody who actually knows how to hold a weapon and fire one, somebody who maybe when you guys get into an incident, God forbid, has no problem taking the stand on your behalf, right? Like, and saying, yo, they tried us, and, you know, I had to do what I had to do because they did what they did, and we were on the defense, right? I think people got to move more, smarter. And I think part of that just comes with making better decisions, right? I think of just it in general, right? Like if we get into a car, right, you probably should wear a seatbelt, right? You probably should have car insurance. And I'm not trying to trivialize this and make it seem like these two are like super related, but I'm just saying like there's poor decisions and there's smart decisions. And we got to stop like copping pleas for people, especially these rappers who really talk about this shit in their music. They're moving around carelessly. They're putting themselves in situations that actually are conducive to maybe even the situations happening. Let's just stop making excuses, man. Let's just stop making excuses for people, man. I really don't like. That's what like even people are blaming the girl. Like what the hell? Like police don't like the police came out and said. And I know this is not necessarily about P&B Rock, but even the police came out and said, yo, this could have been the girl's doing or his girlfriend. Like, we don't even know that. Nobody knows anything, but everybody's just kind of jumping to conclusions, trying to make it seem like they know what actually happened. But what we do know for a fact is people are making poor decisions. Let's just call it a spade.
I think even regardless if you know like how it happened or not, you should probably not post where you're at if your boyfriend or your baby daddy has a certain status. It's a dumb decision. Whether they saw it or not, you shouldn't have did that. Now, I agree completely with what you're saying. Like, don't want to come off like we're victim blaming or anything like that. But this world, I'm going to be real, this world is evil, bro. So, like, there's no possible way that you can change every person, kind of like how I said originally. So it's like you really have to change up the way that you move. You have to do things. You might have to take certain sacrifices to stay alive. And that's just what it is. That's real life.
And I think, I mentioned content changing, right? We talked about content changing earlier.
Yeah.
Where I was like, maybe you shouldn't talk about your jewelry and stuff like that. There's also some notions in hip hop that are just not true. Like, for instance, what you're saying, right? Where you're talking about security. Where there's this notion of if you got security, you got police behind you, like that's bad, right? That's not true. If you got security, it doesn't make you less of a man. It doesn't make you, smarter or more street than this other individual. It just means you got security behind you. But there's another notion that's running around hip hop that I kind of don't like, is where rappers say, I did not get caught lacking. Everybody keeps talking about how I wasn't caught lacking. I didn't get caught lacking. You ain't gonna catch me lacking. I wasn't lacking. I'm telling you right now, every human being on this planet will be caught lacking at some point. It's just, are you lucky enough to escape that situation alive or not hurt? We are all going to be caught lacking. So this notion of I can't get caught lacking, you ain't going to catch me, that got to stop because it's not true.
Yo, it's falsehoods. Yo, I think that rappers, they portray this invincible, heroic type persona that people buy into, almost as if this is like a video game, like this is a Marvel character. This is like almost like they're bigger than life. And I think people incorrectly buy into that. So any notion that they're not as heroic figure, it devalues their brand. That's how they look at it. I think that's fucked up. Like you're saying, Q. Like it's not real. It's not real life.
Us as human beings, we get caught lacking.
Yes.
Like there's no way you can live your life and not get caught lacking. Because there's one thing that that's the topic, kind of like what we're doing. The topic I keep hearing rappers say online about this whole thing is, if it was me, I would have did this different. I would have did this. Bruh, you got to go to your mailbox, right? You got to go outside at a certain point, and whether it's with your security or not, there's going to be a moment in a 24-hour day where you are susceptible to something happening to you. You know what I mean? Like, so I just think part of me is like, definitely make smarter decisions, get security and stuff. But then also another part is like, you will be caught lacking, and just, be aware that like, you're not invincible. You're not invincible. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's just my food for thought on this.
It was a good convo. I like that, man. I want to, like, I also want to be respectful too, because like, again, you got to say rest in peace. Like, I mean, we're losing a lot of these like very talented artists, man, and it sucks because like I was a real big fan of P&B Rock, like from day one, actually. Like, I know when people pass, like people just tend to say that. Like, I genuinely mean that, man, and it sucks. It sucks. So I mean, I really hope these dudes, like, you know, they kind of tone things down a bit, and maybe, you know, we could see like a decrease in that situation, in these types of situations, because, yo, I was talking to UQ was it yesterday or the day before, and I was like, bro, the mayor or the governor of LA came out and said, this area is not safe. If you're a celebrity and you come here, we cannot guarantee your safety. Bro, if the governor of a town says that publicly, I'm not going.
I mean, if you're gonna go, just go on Hollywood.
That's just me.
Go to
That's
Hollywood or something. Go to, like, you know, Anaheim.
Look, bro, it's a wild time we living in right now.
You know, I just to kind of piggyback on what you said about PNB Rock. First and foremost, rest in peace. Like, I love PNB. Like, his music, I really rock with his music, and I want people to know, like, he didn't do anything wrong. There's a difference between doing something wrong and, you know, something you probably shouldn't have done, right? He didn't do anything wrong. He didn't deserve to lose his life. He did not, you know, in the end of the day, he was living his life like a lot of people don't do. You know, he was living his life, eating waffles with his girlfriend. He wanted to dress the way he wanted to dress. He wanted to ride what he wanted to ride. It's just unfortunate, like you said, Jordan, there's a lot of evil people in this world that, you know, just want to make it hard for you to live your life. So, you know, rest in peace to him.
For sure.
Topic number 2. How do you judge what good music is? And we ain't talking Kanye West good music and all them people. We talking good music. The reason I wanted to bring this topic up, me and Uchay were talking about Yeet. I know you're familiar with Yeet, right, Jordan? Am I saying his name right too? Is it Yeet or Yite?
Yeet.
Or Yizzy?
I don't even know, man. This one I don't know. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Because he does got the little dot thing on the E, right? But anyway. So me and Uchay were talking about Yeet.
Okay.
And it was one of the most complicated, most complex conversations I've ever had with Uchay. And we've talked about all kinds of complex stuff, like the Washington Wizards. But
okay, I'm following.
All right.
Following.
But Washington Wizards got like 9 point guards. But anyway, we were talking about the music, right?
Yes,
the style of music that Yeet makes. And so Yeet is kind of in the same category as the Playboy Cardis of the world, the Ken Carsons of the world, where to an old person like myself, it just kind of sounds like noise, right?
That's hate. I ain't gonna lie, that's hate.
See? To an old person like me, it kind of sounds like noise, right?
Okay.
But
definitely hate.
There's
That's
also a level of mastery in what he does, right? Regardless, I think there's a level of appreciation that you can have after listening to his music. So it's like, when you look at an artist like Yeet, compared to, let's say, an artist like Drake, why are we calling what Drake does good, but then we calling what Yeet does trash? Like, is there a such thing as Drake's music being clearly better, or is everything just subjective?
I'll start this off if you guys don't mind,
that.
and then Jordan, you can maybe I don't know where you stand on this, but I'm curious to know what you're gonna say.
Okay.
You're right though, Q. We had a convo and it was bothering me, bro. Like, I'm at the gym this morning, I'm listening. I'm like, you know what? Let me listen to this Yeet album again. Let me just check it out. Flawless came on, first song with Uzi. I was like, okay, this is dope. I can rock with this, right? Next joint came on, Up on X. I was like, okay, it's not horrible. I can do this. I can do this. Like, for this environment, I'm in the gym. Like, this is working. And then by song 3, I'm just like, okay, I don't even know what he's saying half the time. No, that's a fact. That's no.
It's true.
No,
Pull up the
no,
lyrics.
no.
Pull up the lyrics.
That's true. That's also
fair
true.
enough. Bro,
things could be true.
Only lyrics I respect is Genius. So if they be getting shit wrong, like, so
The
I'm just letting you know.
only thing I hear him say was Tonka truck. How about the Tonka truck? How about the Tonka? Like, I don't know what the hell he said.
You look, you sound like him, bro.
So, but the point is, I'm not trying to disrespect his art, because I am notoriously someone who has rocked with Young Thug from day one. And I remember the early conversation about Thug when everyone was like, yo, what is he saying? Yo, this sounds dumb. Yo, is this parody music? Man, this is stupid. Right? Like people not taking Thug's music seriously for a very long time until he really, I guess, kind of just proved that his artistry was, critically undeniable to a degree. Now, he's still an acquired taste. You're either going to like Thug's music or you're not. But the point is, Thug got to a point where his music became undeniable. Now, back to Yeat. The point is here. I see a lot of similarities between what Yeat does and what Lil Uzi Vert does, right? Musically, especially when Uzi gets in his experimental bag. But we tend to look at Uzi's music as generally acceptable because, I think maybe we just like Uzi's personality. And I just think Uzi's a little bit more digestible from that standpoint, right? And of course, Uzi has hits. Like, let's just call it a spade a spade. Like, Uzi has hits. And so people are going to rock with him way more. I compare Yeat to Playboi Carti.
Yeah.
Right? In terms of the production style, in terms of their approach to music, in terms of the flows, a lot of times you could call it mumble rap. You don't maybe not necessarily even know what they're saying. The erraticness in which they make music, is very comparable to what Playboi Carti does. Mm-hmm. But there's some value in what Playboi Carti does. Like, I think Whole Lotta Red, Carti's last album, is a gem. It's a special project. I don't mean it should be compared to Jay-Z, somebody who's more conventional as a rapper, J. Cole. No, none of these people you can compare him to a conventional style. But I mean, there is an element of what these dudes are doing that can be considered trash. But at the same time, I think a lot of times we consider stuff trash before we actually understand what's happening. Right? So is that what's going on with Yeat's music, or is the music just bad? Now I want to know what you got to say, Jordan.
All right, so I got a lot of thoughts. I'm trying to sort them right now, so it might be all over the place. But first, I want to start by saying I feel like oftentimes good music it's how it makes you feel. A lot of times, a song will really hit you when you experience life with that song. If you have a certain memory that you tie to this song. Maybe if you watch a music video, it gets you to understand a little bit more. That's why a lot of times, like if I drop a song, a video comes with it, because sometimes the MP3 is just like, you don't really get the message or what I was visualizing. But when you see that video, now you feel me. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of times it's that. If you're in a party and Yeat comes on and everybody's lit, they know the words, you might ask, yo, what song is this? And then you might go home and listen to it. And when you listen to it, it makes you think of how lit the party was. So now you can think about the next party. When I go there, they play it. I'm going to know the words this time. So a lot of times it's a feeling, it's experiences, it's moments. Now, music can be objectively good and bad, though. I think that comes down to how is the mix? How is the master? Is it loud? Is it quiet?
Yes.
What about the song structure? Do they got a bridge? Do they got a pre-hook? Like, you can write a song that's good. You know what I mean?
That's where I was going to
go. The song might not have.
You're talking technical. That's the technical side that, like, you don't really need. I mean, there's art to that, but like,
there's ghostwriters that are working relentlessly around the clock, making good songs, but it just don't hit because what's missing? The feeling? Maybe, I don't know. But I think a song can be objectively or technically good. You know what I mean? But it still might not hit. It's not guaranteed. But for the most part, the hits that we have today, I think it comes down to feeling, and sometimes it's a mixture of both. I think with Yeat, it's kind of like what I explained. I feel like the kids, they just get it. Like, I feel like we talked about this before with just like angst and
with
like
NBA
Youngboy. It was that combo. Yep.
All the emotions that the kids feel and just wanting to turn up and rage. I also think when you make music, especially within hip hop or like a subgenre like what Yeat's in, I think you get it a little bit more just because, yo, it's hard to do. I'm not gonna lie. If you wanted to recreate a Yeat song, you might be like, yo, this is easy, but you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
It's gonna look all messy. You're gonna have all types of papers all over the place.
Can you imagine Yeat in the studio, bro? That joint probably look like Oh, I gotta see it. I gotta see it.
I mean, I'm not sitting here acting like he's like Jay-Z and he's like rapping like a whole bunch of verses off the dome. But what I'm saying is like, yo, there's mad videos on YouTube right now of people trying to copy Yeat's preset. Like if you look it up, Yeat's preset. How do I get Yeat's preset on FL Studio, on Logic Pro? Mad people are trying to copy what he's doing, and like even the people that made videos, it still don't sound like Yeat. It's his voice. It's the way he does ad libs, all of that stuff. When you make music, you can really understand like, oh, nah, this man's in his own pocket. That doesn't necessarily mean this is a classic, but it's just like this man, he's unique. He's unique. And yeah, man.
Hey Q, I gotta say this real quick because you brought up something real important, which is like the separation of feeling, right? The song gives you a feeling, and then there's the technical aspect, right? I think that what's happening right now is the technical side of things is being redefined by these young dudes. Like it's being redefined. What we usually or conventionally consider as somebody flowing, right? It's being restructured. What we consider as like somebody's like let's say they're too low or too high on the beat. Like somebody may just take it all the way down, and that'll be redefined as like the standard, right? Like it's in motion as changing. And I think when that happens, people are always confused about music and what's happening. But yeah, there is a subjective and a feeling aspect that really you can't really put your finger on what a feeling is. Like, can you? Yeah. Like what does that even mean? It means something different to everybody. Mm-hmm. But Q, what you think?
Yeah, I mean, you guys make good points. I mean, but the great Bernie Mac once said,
okay,
F those kids. Nah.
Cancel.
It's kinda. No, I mean, he pretty much saying like, forget what they think, pretty much essentially. But no, I mean, I can we just call it?
Take your time, brother. Take your time, brother.
Can we please just call it how it is? Like,
what do you mean though? I don't understand.
Can we? Okay, I'm trying to get there.
Say what you gotta say. That's what I said. Take your time, man. What are you trying to say?
Help me out.
Can we just call it how it is? There's good music and then there's bad music, right? There's good elements and then there's bad elements. Like for instance, you did talk about the technical part, right? Where the arrangements, the chorus, et cetera, et cetera. But then there's the technical parts as a rapper. Like, how is your flows? Like, are you riding the beat?
That wouldn't apply to you though.
Your melody. So he doesn't. He doesn't ride the beats. He doesn't flow well, right? Well,
no. That's not what I said. I was saying the point that you're making doesn't apply to Yee. Yee's doing all of that. The song might not be written perfectly, but like he's flowing.
But he's not well. I mean, he's flowing. He sometimes he's off beat. Let's be real. Come on, Jordan. I had to review this guy's album. Like I had to review both of them. Like, there's so many songs on his album where he is not riding the beat well. Like, but I don't know if he's doing it on purpose. See, that's the thing. I know he could ride a beat if he wanted to, but I think he's purposefully like being offbeat, if that makes sense. It's sort of like how, if you listen to G Herbo, there was a time where G Herbo was just dropping freestyles and he was like sounding like he was purposefully offbeat. That's what I think Yeat's doing. But just because you're doing that on purpose, or just because that's your aim, or that's your style, does that make it good? I think that just makes it unique, but I don't think that makes it necessarily good musicality. Because at the end of the day, how can we judge what's good and what's bad, right? Historically speaking, right? Okay. Historically speaking,
yes,
a good song has good arrangements, right? Good structure. We're talking since the 30s, right? Since Langston Hughes days, right? And stuff like that. I know he's a poet, but since the 30s and 40s, there's a particular structure of the way a song is structured where people considered it being good. People have tweaked it and things like that. But in this day and age, there's people that are not doing what people were doing for the last 50 or 60 years. There's people in hip hop today that are not doing what the most rappers were doing 20, 30 for the last 30 years. So
Jordan,
my question.
Go ahead. I'm like, kick this back over to Jordan. I want Jordan sound. He looked like he got something to say.
Of course. And I'm playing kind of devil's advocate here.
Yeah.
So in the last 30 years, they're doing stuff that people, because for the last 30 years, there's been a particular sound. Yes, there's some artists that were unique and they stood out for a little bit, but that didn't mean that their stuff lasted for a long time. Like, for instance, you can't tell me right now, in 5 years from now, you'll still want to be bumping Yeet. I think it's music that people want to listen to today. I don't know if it's music that can stand the test of time, which I think is another factor when it comes to making good music. But you tell me, like, what's your opinion?
Well, number one, I couldn't tell if I was talking to Joe Budden or Quincy. I ain't gonna lie, but you know what I'm saying. I feel like you're wilding, bro. I feel like
really
Yeet isn't just completely going against the grain, like doing something that's completely new. We have been eased into this. You can start. All right, let's say we start with Wayne. We take Wayne. Who did Wayne influence? All right, we get Thug. Okay, from Thug we get Uzi, we get Cardi. Now we got Yeet doing something that's inspired by maybe a little bit Uzi, a little bit Cardi. It's not like Yeet jumped out on his own like branch or tree. Like, he comes from this. You get what I'm trying to say? So it's
but he went so left field with it.
I don't think so.
He went
I think he's
so
taking what they
field.
did.
I think it's okay. It's okay to go left field. Like, I listen.
It's not
that's
that.
Why,
it's not that different to me.
So?
I could go from a Cardi song or a Ken Carson song to a Yeet song, and it still sounds relatively the same.
Look. Let me jump.
But they
in
all
here.
left field though. But they all left field. They all went left field.
Is Young Thug left field? Did he go left field? Yes or no?
He did go left field. But he did. But
is it bad music? Is it bad music?
So Young Thug has some bad songs. But like, there's some times when Young Thug is in his bag when he wants to make
Who's last point?
Good song.
No. Hey, I'm enjoying this. There's a bit of hold on. I gotta say this real quick. There's a bit of a delay. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm enjoying this. Go ahead, George.
You try to talk about timelessness. That's not something that's a rare thing, basically, to have a timeless song. There's certain artists who will never get one of those. There's certain artists who only have 2 of those, 3 of those. So it's like, we can't talk about it as if like, yo, Yeet needs to have timeless songs. It comes down to if he can evolve as an artist. He's making things that's cool today. 5 years from now, 6 months from now, can he evolve to fit where we are then? He doesn't have to make a Thriller. He doesn't have to make a Billie Jean. He can just continue to evolve with the time, and he'll be relevant.
Well, I mean, I can still listen to Sean Kingston's music. Like, Sean Kingston, it still sounds 2010-ish, but it's still a good, like, to me, it's timeless. Like, it doesn't have to mean it's Thriller. It just has to mean in 2 years, I want to listen to this album, this exact album. I'm not saying Yeet can turn into Jay-Z.
Yes.
But this particular album, would I want to listen to it 5 years from now?
Does that rule have to apply to every artist? Do you expect that out of every artist?
I expect it out of artists that are good. If we're going to crown somebody as good, you got to have something that I think I want to listen to in 2-3 years from now.
But not everything in your discography. Like, things get dated. That's just a part of what it is. Like, you're going to listen back to something.
Things get dated, but it can still be something I can want to listen to.
Hey, let me jump in here. Let me jump in here real quick, because I mean, honestly, like, I see what both of you gentlemen are saying. I do. You Jordan, you called him Joe Budden. I think you're essentially getting at his age. Like, this is an old man's. That's essentially what you're saying, right? Like, Q, if you didn't know what that comment was about, I'm almost certain he calling you an old head. All right. And on Jordan's foot, what he's talking about is
he a young head. What do they call young people?
Whippersnapper. It's like, nah.
Young jit. He a young jit, like Kodak Black always say.
Yeah. But the point is, I think this is simply about. And by the way, both of you guys are right. I gotta say that. And I'm gonna tell you guys where I stand on this, but I just want to say both of you guys actually make pretty good points.
Yeah.
This comes down to, do you prefer the music or not? Because I just personally don't think Q thinks that style of music is good. It's really that simple. And there's a lot, and it's not wrong, because I feel the same way to a degree. There's elements of what Yeat does that I actually like. There's elements of what he does that I fucking hate. And this is why I compared him to Uzi at first, because I think Uzi has become a staple because he has managed to tap into like the older crowd and the younger crowd, and he actually has hits, right? He's had things that have transcended over time. Whether it's Money Longer, initially, he's done it over and over again. But Uzi's sound, when he wants to go left field and experiment, is not something that Q or anybody who agrees with Q is probably going to appreciate. You're going to respect Uzi because you like him and what he brings to the table, but you're not going to like everything he does. So this is just a matter of, do you like the style of music?
No.
I personally,
I agree. I agree with that.
I like a lot of different shit that's bad and good. So to go back to the topic, can you like music that is considered bad? Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I just opened up with like the first half of the album or first couple songs, and I'm like, I actually rock with this. Would I compare it to what J. Cole does? Of course not. It's a completely different spectrum of hip hop. They doing different things, right? So like, you got to acknowledge that you can't compare everybody to everybody. However, from a technical standpoint, yes, people like J. Cole, people like Kendrick, people like you throw Kanye, even though he goes left field at times with specifically Yeezus that everybody freaking hated. But the point is, there's people who do things that are conventional, right? That the masses have accepted. I love and then there's people who I love that. And then there's people who come in and do unorthodox things with music that is not accepted yet, that may eventually become the norm. So the question now becomes, can what Yeat and Playboi Carti and all these other dudes do become the norm? Where all these other dudes all these other older heads is trying to catch up to that wave.
That's like asking.
There you go.
You see that happen, but it's like, okay,
you heard the answer.
I hear. But at the end of the day, right? Like, we do it for everything else. You know how Uchay loves to say this? This is not a criticism of you, but you love to say stuff like this. You're like, there's rules that apply only to hip hop, right? There's rules that apply to pop, but it doesn't apply to hip hop. Like, for instance, the first week sales. You're like, why is it that we don't care about the pop artists, right? Okay, this is actually the reverse. This rule applies to almost any other industry. Like, for instance, all right, McDonald's, they make burgers. They don't make burgers like your typical burger, right? They don't put tomatoes and lettuce in their burger like most restaurants do. McDonald's got their little secret sauce. They got the little double patty, whatever, But if you ask most people in this world, they would say McDonald's is not a high quality burger. I may like it, but I do know that this is probably not a high quality burger, right? You can still like it though. You can still say it's unique. You can still say there's elements in the burger that, the young kids like or whatever. That's the same with hip hop to me. So I can listen to Yeat's music. What I can define as high quality. Everything that you said, technicality. To me, the technicalities, the technical part.
What if Yeat went into the studio, recorded his verse, and he had Mike Dean spend 2 weeks mixing and engineering it, getting it perfect? That's technical. They worked hard on it. They put hours into that mix and to that master.
That's one part.
Now?
That's one part.
Is it good now?
That's one part. But that's the production. How are you going to explain his flows? How you going to explain the fact that he's not really riding the beat?
I like his flows personally.
But historically, right? We talking about the person flows. I mean, but that's his flows is all over the place, right?
Is there no such thing as an acquired taste? When you first had a beer, did you like it?
I agree. I
When
agree.
when you first had sushi, did you like it?
Yeah, but
Probably not.
okay,
You
but
had
that's
to eat it a few times. If you
That-
drink a beer
that's a good
and then
word.
go
That's
6
actually a good
months,
word. The
if
acquired
you
taste.
drink a
That's a
beer,
good.
and
That's
you
a good
go
word.
6
but you could, but I could. I listen. I've had 1,000 beers, right? If somebody were to ask me, "Does beer taste good?" I'll tell you, no, it does not taste good. It's an acquired taste. Does beer
So
taste good?
why do you drink? Why do you indulge in it?
Because it's an acquired. Because I like it. I personally like it. But I'm telling you,
Hey,
beer does not taste good to me. Like
yo,
two things can be
hey.
right. I
Here's
can
the
like
thing.
something and something cannot taste good.
Hey, we're
Like
going. You
which is
guys are
crazy.
going. You guys are going in a bit of circles. I got to say that.
Okay.
I think we should move
Okay.
on. Let's keep it pushing,
Next
though, man.
topic.
I like the convo, but
Which
this is
I was
going
about to
nowhere.
get
This
him.
topic.
I was about to get him. That's why you didn't want your man to get bodied on the pod.
Nah, hey, I'm ready. Hey,
Right.
hey, listen, I got counters. I got counters for all defenses. I'm Tom Brady at this point.
Yo,
I've seen all the defense.
I'm impartial. I don't give a damn. I just think the episode gonna last way too long if this shit
That's a
goes
fact.
on.
That's a
That's all it
That's
is.
true. That's true.
Anyway,
I
next
respect
topic.
his opinion, too.
Next topic. Do we lower the bar for female rappers, guys? I mean, do we keep the same energy when we evaluating female rappers versus men rappers, or is the bar lowered, right? And so I think I kind of explained this in the intro, but just for you guys' memory, I'm going to remind you guys because I would like to kick this to you, Q. But in general, we seem to really evaluate dudes on a music tip, right? Like the same way we have in this the last convo y'all just had about technicality, how that you see that passion y'all had. Oh man, his flows. Oh, y'all are not doing that when it come to women. We just gonna keep it a buck. But at the end of the day, I bring up people like Nicki Minaj, right? Nicki Minaj, I brought this up earlier. Nicki is a GOAT, you know. I think most people will agree with that. And if you don't, I don't know what to tell you. But she's accepted as a GOAT, right? Like she is top 1, 2, however you want to slice it, female rapper to ever really rap. She goes toe to toe with dudes, but people don't really bring up her albums. People don't really bring up her the quality of products that she brings to the table. Now, I will say one thing about Nicki, she brings a lot of her stats to the table. She's always touting how her songs are going number 1. So she does clearly chart and she does well on the charts and whatnot, but we don't really have the same conversation about her albums, right? That we probably should if she's going to be considered a GOAT, right? Because if you think about it, if Nicki was a dude, you know what people will be knocking? The fact that she ain't got a classic album. That's what people will be saying. Just all you would, and then that'll be the people making excuses for why she's not a GOAT. So, Q, what do you think, bro? Do you think women are not evaluated on the same level musically as dudes?
There's a word called demographic, right? And how important is demographic to the word demographic? How important is demographics to how you rate somebody, right? Like, for instance, if you're a male, right? How important is a male's opinion to a woman rapper's opinion? Like, how important is that? Like, does that hold weight? Like, should we be? This is a question. This is not a rhetorical question. Should we be leaving when it comes to how we view women rappers to that demographic that they are rapping to? Or should it be something that we all look at through the same lens? Because in my opinion, that does play a big part, right? Like, for instance, you know, with anything, how would the reason why probably you don't hear the word classic, in my opinion, is because women don't talk like that about women rappers. In my opinion, those are the ones that are the most important opinion from day one. And I told you about that, Uch. I said that from day one about Megan Thee Stallion. I was like, Megan Thee Stallion it may be acquired taste for me, but you know, at the end of the day, who is she rapping to? She's not rapping to me. You know, she's rapping to a particular demographic. So if you ask me, I think the reason why we don't measure them the same is because of that, because we should leave it to the demographics that they're actually rapping to. And in this case, it should be the women that are actually telling us who we should champion, in my opinion.
Man,
which is their main,
worded that.
for a lot of them, is their main demographic.
What you think? What you think, Jordan?
You worded that perfectly, my brother. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we should leave that to the demographic as well. It goes just like the NBA. Do you expect male viewers to watch the WNBA? No, I feel like female viewers should watch that and support that sport.
Go there. Oh man, I was gonna go there.
Yeah, so I agree with you there. I think your question, though, your initial question, Uch, I think it goes both ways. I think in that sense, you're right that like we do lower the bar, but I think we also raise the bar in certain aspects where, like, if Saweetie goes on Hot 97 and does a freestyle, she gonna really have to rap for I feel like to get our, maybe some men would be like, just because she's bad, they would be like, yo, she killed that. But I think for the most part, though, a lot of people would expect her to really rap. You know what I mean? And so I think it depends on the situation whether we raise or lower the bar. But honestly, yeah, women don't talk like that. From what I understand, they don't really, oh, this is a classic first week sales, blah, 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 blah. We do, though.
We do.
So
this is the male. The male side of hip hop is so competitive. We always want to crown somebody the best. That's just kind of how we operate when it comes to things like that. MJ versus LeBron. So Jay-Z versus Nas.
Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I gotta disagree because it's like, listen, nobody's disputing the whole demographic angle. Like, come on. Like, I'm not about to go back and forth with you on whether or not I'm Megan Thee Stallion's demographic or not. Clearly, I'm not, and I'm cool with that. Like, I don't even care. But that ain't the convo we having, bro. That ain't the convo. That's y'all are sidestepping the question. You sidestepping.
Okay.
That's a deflection. That's a deflection.
Tap dancing. Okay.
So yes, I agree. The fan base of them would probably have a way more informed decision, or I should say opinion, than I probably would have. But the point is, there's so many young women out there that's coming up that are getting shine, right? Whether it's the Glorillaz, whether it's the Ice Spices of the world, right? We seeing names bubble, right? And I'm cool with that. Like, let them get their shine and it's dope, right? Matter of fact, I love both of their songs, actually. I like Munch and I like the other joint, the Let's Go, or whatever it's called. I think it's called Let's Go. No, F and F. There you go. Yeah. Anyway, but hypothetically speaking, let's say they dropped their first album, right? Kind of like Lotto did. She dropped their first studio album. Now, Lotto had been a rapper respected for a while, but let's say they dropped the first studio album. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
When that album drops, dudes are going to be like, if they like it, they're going to be like, oh, that shit was tight. But let's say she drops again. She drop another album, which she probably will soon. Okay, cool. She drops another one. Let's say she's 5 albums into her career and she still hasn't really put out an album that is objectively good, right? Objectively, or I should say, critiqued by the masses as a good project. At that point, we should now be having a conversation about whether or not Lotto is going to have a sustainable career or not. I believe in the same way we do this shit with men, we should actually extend it with women. And the reason why I'm saying we should is because I think this lower standard that we have towards women is actually, it could potentially be hurting the other women who are coming up, who want their music to be taken seriously. And they don't really care. The masses don't really care because they may not be quote unquote bad. I bring up people like Rhapsody all the time, right? Rhapsody she has no quote unquote sex appeal in comparison to the, to the Lottos. That's not really her lane. She don't really do what the other women do, right? But Rhapsody has put out, in my opinion, a couple projects that are actually top tier, that should be considered top tier and should be spoken about way more highly. But I think the atmosphere of where women are and how we don't even really care about the music that women actually put out, it devalues what Rhapsody does. Nobody even cares about the Rhapsody project. It's because of the landscape and how we judge women rappers, in my personal opinion.
When you say, so the question is, when you say don't care, right? Because we use these words, right?
Yep.
Some of the stuff we were saying earlier is kind of coinciding with what we're saying now. Who doesn't care? Because if you actually look, Rhapsody was nominated for a Grammy. Rhapsody is actually considered Grammy level talent. Like, how many artists that we say are popping are Grammy level talented? You know, she's been nominated. Chica, I believe she was nominated for a Grammy. But Chica is highly regarded in her circles. I believe so, but I had to double check that. She's highly regarded in circles. So when you say who, is it the internet? You saying Twitter? Are you saying Instagram? Are you saying the
Let me be very clear.
Based applications, or are you talking about the true hip hop fans? Because I think Rhapsody doesn't get J. Cole, Kendrick respect, but that's because we talk about J. Cole and Kendrick all the time. Like us men in a competitive nature always want to talk about our top fives, right? So they don't get put on there. They're not a topic of convo. They kind of just do their job, then play the back a lot of times, you know? And so.
Cool. The masses. I'm talking about the conversation, right? I'm not talking about me. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the overall conversation about women rappers. We know what we're talking about. So whether that is driven by the internet, whether that is who society kind of anoints and crops up at the top, right? We're talking about just the overall landscape. So it includes multiple like areas of society. But my point is, bro, women just kind of it sucks, but like women have like a starter pack that I think devalues the music. It's not a coincidence that there's a lot of pressures for women to get their body done. There's a lot of pressures for women to conform and do all these different things when in fact nobody, even when I say nobody, I don't mean that literally, but again, the conversation is usually not centered around the music and how good the music is or not. It's just a fact.
You don't think they do that to themselves?
The women?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure they do.
I'm not sure they do. Body done.
You mean you? When you say you, who are you talking as? You as a fan, or you as a like? Who do you say you? What you mean?
Whatever you deem it to me. I feel like they're making that own conscious decision to go that route for marketing and for whatever. I feel like also you can't require men to listen to the Lotto album if they don't want to listen to. A lot of people aren't rating music. You know what I mean? So like they just listen to what they like. If Lotto's talking about something they can't get busy with, they're not gonna listen to her. You know what I mean? Even if the album is great, you know what I mean? They're just not going to force themselves to listen to somebody they can't connect with. You know what I mean? So
respectfully, and that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that.
Respectfully, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Respectfully. So I feel like at the end of the day, it has to be a demographic issue because if she's rapping to a certain type of people and these type of people are the ones consuming her music, okay, well, you tell us if it's good. I'm not about to sit through this hour-long album just to say, oh, this is good. Get the stamp of approval. That's just, I'm listening to something I want to hear.
Again, you know what? Yeah. So if that's the case, if what you guys are saying, we need more women out here talking music. And if they're not talking about the music itself, I think that's a problem. Yeah. Overall, it's a problem, bro. Like you a rapper, you make music, and we ain't talking about rap. We talking about how good they look. We talking about all the shit that ain't got nothing to do with music. That's what happens a lot.
The whole classic album thing is really only reserved to about like 10 people. About 10 people. Like you talk about Kendrick, J. Cole, Jay-Z, Nas, like the same 10 people that have been regular, just all over, we've been talking about for years. I think when it comes to women rappers, it's not about classic. It's about who can make, from what I see, who's making the biggest club hits. Like, who's the one that is killing verses, like, when they hop on it? Like, right now, what Cardi, Nicki, and Megan Thee Stallion got going on is, like, changing. As much as we saying, like, Yeet changed the game, like, they changed the game for where it's, like, women dominance in every aspect of the music. Like, from a lyrical standpoint, from a, they flipped the tables. I'm dominant. I'm that. And they are actually driving a culture, which I think to me is just as impressive as a classic album.
Hey,
You
yo,
know
bro.
what I mean? Like
Look,
what
man.
Megan has been able
Hey,
to do.
Nah, bro.
Seriously, think about it. Now listen to me.
No,
What
by the way,
Megan
when I
has
say
been
no,
able
when
to
I say
do-
no, when I say no, I don't mean that literally. Like what you're saying
No, I
doesn't
know, I
matter.
know.
Of course, they're contributing in a lot of different areas. I'm talking about music, my G.
Hold on. I know what you're saying. I
We
know what you're
talking
saying.
about
But listen to me.
music.
No, but listen, I am talking music. So it's like what I'm saying is we talking about you. We're big on body of work. Me and you particularly are big on who has an album of the year or who has a classic album. That's us. That's kind of what we look for. But for other music fans, maybe for Megan Thee Stallion's fans, they're looking for how is she changing the culture with her raps, her lyrical content? How is she like making me feel good inside? Whatever, blah 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 blah. Whatever they feel like champion, whatever her demographic feels like champion, that's what they're gonna champion. We are the ones that are just more focused on classic albums. We're the ones that are just more focused on all that other stuff.
Oh, so what you're basically telling me is that it's subjective. Is that what you're telling me? Is that essentially what you're saying? It's subjective. We all have our own opinions of how we evaluate. That's essentially what you're saying, right? I mean, I ain't saying that to stump you. That's what I'm hearing.
Well. Technically,
don't cop a plea now, my G.
Hold on. Technically, there's good music and bad music. So,
so
wait.
Okay.
Technically, there's good music and bad music, right? But no. So at the end of the day, I think if I'm speaking as a music critic, as a music fan, and I've told you this all the time, Megan Thee Stallion's albums, like about 2 that she dropped, are pretty damn good. This album she just dropped, really good.
I enjoyed
Probably
it. I enjoyed
one
that
of the
joint,
albums
actually.
of the year. You know what I mean? And just because we not talking about it, we not championing it. Maybe this is album of the year, but because it's a male dominant convo, hip hop is a male dominated convo. We may not bringing it. We may not be bringing it up there.
Hey, look, bro.
There's women that dropped A+ albums. Lauryn Hill's album is just as good as The Blueprint.
Better. See, Lauren is and this was the convo I had with you earlier, the off mic, where I was saying that, I personally think that Lauryn Hill, Miseducation of the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill,
Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, yeah,
is the only undeniable is the word I'll use, that is widely renowned or widely regarded as a classic by a female rapper in history. I'm not saying there aren't other classics. I'm saying undeniable from critics, niggas who don't even really like her. Like, I'm talking about, like, it is one of those. Mm-hmm. And even when we talk about, like, Nicki Minaj, I know you guys are saying there's other factors, which is cool, but does she have a classic? Does she? Because essentially you guys are saying it don't matter. So if it don't matter with them, then why does it matter with the dudes? I ain't talking about, and see, that's the thing. It's us three having a convo. We're not talking to fans. I'm not saying make excuses for fans. I'm talking about you make up your mind. How do you feel? Are we making excuses for one side and not for the other? Are we just saying it's a double standard? Because I'm hearing that it's a double standard and it is what it is. That's kind of what I'm hearing from you guys, to be quite honest with you.
Well,
Wow.
Well, I know I talk too much.
Go ahead.
It's at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is, I don't think we talk about women.
Make it make sense for me, man.
That's it.
Make it make sense.
We don't talk about it. We just don't talk. We don't know if they. I don't think we evaluate as much, and I also don't think the conversation involves women nearly enough. Who knows? Rhapsody has a classic album. Is it her fault that we ain't talking about it? That's our fault. That ain't her fault.
Hey, look. If what you're saying
Chica
is true,
may have
I
a
think
classic
that
album.
needs
We ain't talking about it.
Yo, if what you're saying is true, and you might be right, I think it needs to change. I think the combo needs to change. It needs to become a little bit more balanced. Like, I'm gonna just be real. That's just my opinion. I don't know if that means bringing women in, hearing what they got to say. Like, I don't care what we got to do, but personally, I would love for women and us to hear about the music that they actually putting out versus us just talking about them being influencers and like whether or not they bad or not and all the shit that ain't got nothing to do with music, but they're a rapper.
What is on your Instagram filter, dog? Like,
what you mean?
That's. I mean, I think that's just you. Honestly,
what do you mean? I don't understand the response there. What does that even mean?
Jordan, I think we on the same.
Jordan, help me out. Help me
I
out,
don't
man.
understand. I don't understand why to you women are so innocent in how they're like viewed in terms of like music. Like, I feel like they are willingly taking this route. They're getting the BBLs. You know what I mean? They're rapping about the certain content matter that they're rapping about. They're making the fast food music. It's not us putting the gun to their head like, yo, you got to look this way. You got to sound this way. You got to blah, blah, blah. They're doing, that's what they want. That's the City Girls want it to be that. So, you know what I mean? I'm just saying that's the route that a lot of women artists are taking. You know what I mean? And if men don't want to listen to it, they don't want to talk about it, then that's fine. You know what I mean?
So what I heard just now is that you just said they're making fast food music. That's what you just said.
Certain one, not all of them. Not all of them.
I just heard you saying they choosing to make fast food music.
I'm talking
That's essentially what you said.
I'm talking about the BBL culture, the BBL hip hop culture. Does Rhapsody
the
got a BBL?
The BBL, bro. I don't think so. I don't know. I
was joking.
I honestly wouldn't know, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Listen, but
you talking about the BBL culture, which to me is the brunt of the women that are getting the shine. That's essentially what I think is happening. But neither here nor there, man.
You wouldn't agree? Nah, you wouldn't agree? Keep it stacked.
No. I completely agree with that. And that's why I said, like, if you're gonna label it as fast food music, then I feel like we saying a lot of similar things that, and I'm talking about the music is not high, it's not regarded. We not really propping up the music, and you're saying because they're not really making music that is beyond fast food. That's essentially what you are saying, right?
At least within the rap sphere of things, yeah. In pop R&B, there's incredible artists that
I think we're actually, to be honest with you, I actually think we're saying a lot of very in line things, but not really. Like, okay. I think we're closer than you actually think, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I agree.
All right. Anyway, man,
I agree.
Let's keep it. Like, women, don't kill me. I'm just listen. I was respectful.
This is a heated episode. I love this.
They about to kill me, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
They killing you. You called it fast food.
Nah, you didn't say anything. You didn't say anything.
Nah, they might kill me, man. Nah, I don't know about you. Just saying.
They're not gonna kill me. I was nice. All right. Last topic. I guess we can go through this real quick. This is actually funny that this is the last topic because it actually, I feel like, is a combination of all the topics we talked about. Okay. How important is an artist's image to you? So based on an image of a person, does that make you want to press play on something? Or sometimes does that image make you want to not press play on somebody's music? So for instance, the reason I brought this topic up was because recently I heard a snippet of Nav on an interview saying that the reason he doesn't think people like him as an artist is because the way he looks. He was like, people can't fathom the fact that, you know, obviously he's Indian. He's an Indian rapper that, you know, doesn't got all these tattoos and stuff like that. But yet he's rapping about getting women. He's rapping about getting money, more money than us, more women, better women than we can get, and has all these nice cars and stuff like that. And he's saying people can't fathom that. So it just made me think like, yo, like, cause I do see what he's saying and I do feel that way about Nav. I know historically, Uchay, you especially know, historically, I just say there's something about Nav I just can't get hip to. Like there's something about his style that I can't get hip to. Is that me subconsciously judging him by his image? And do we all do that?
Let me help you out, bro.
Yes. You want me to? Yes, that's what you're doing.
Even if it is that, what's the problem, bro? This exists, bro. This
Tell me more.
Exists when you do creative things. If you're in the modeling industry, if you're an actor, you're trying to be in Hollywood, image matters. When you're an artist in 2022, it is so much more than the MP3, than what you have on wax. It's about your image. It's about how you look. It's how you dress. Do people identify with you? Are you brand friendly? Can you work with different ads like Coca-Cola, Sprite, things like that? It matters. Whether you like it or not, it matters. You know what I mean? So I think honestly, he should stop complaining and just be happy he made it this far, bro. I'm gonna keep it stacked. I'm gonna keep it stacked.
Give it up.
Nav
Give it up.
Bro, Nav
This guy took the gun off safety for that one. I love it.
Why is he complaining though? Like he's a star, low key. Like he's talked about. What are you complaining for, bro?
Yeah. Hey, I'll be honest with you. Because I didn't see the whole interview with Nav, and I just saw like some clips and stuff here and there. I want to clarify something. When he says image, is he talking about the like accessories that come along with being a rapper, whether it's like chains, cars, all that, or is he talking about the fact that I am Indian, which is something he cannot change? What's he talking about by image?
So I'm paraphrasing, but he said literally, he was like, if you're a light-skinned dude looking at me and you see me having all these cars, he said light-skinned. So I'm assuming he means him as an Indian rapper, but I don't want to take the words out of his mouth, but that's what I'm assuming. But let's talk about it, even if that's not what he's trying to say.
I'm with it.
It's, to me, Nav is different, like in terms of his artistry.
Keep it stacked, bro. Keep it stacked.
Yeah, so you know what's funny?
Hey, this episode is hilarious.
I can already tell what he's about to do.
This episode is just so
hilarious. Hey, the gloves are off. No more copping, please. I'm sick of this, man. I'm sick of this,
I was
bro.
gonna find
say.
an angle. I was gonna find an angle. Right? All right. Here's what I was about to say. Nav is different. The music style, his style, to me, his image is one thing. His image kind of caught me off guard. I think it's his voice. His voice to me is something that is taking me so long to get past. I feel like he has this kind of like nerdy kid that just kind of like knew all the cool kids in school, never was able to master the way the cool kids talk, but is talking about the stuff that the cool kids is talking about. You get what I'm saying? Like that, it's his voice.
Giving it up.
I don't quite think it's the fact that he's Indian. I swear, because guess what? What's his name? Who's also from Canada? God, I love him. What's his name? Because this is key. He's also Indian. He did a song with The Weeknd. God,
Canada.
He's
a rapper. He's a rapper.
He's big dude. He's a rapper. He had a song with The Weeknd. I'll get back to you.
Belly. You talking about Belly? Belly's not Indian.
Belly.
But he's not Indian. He's not Indian.
He's on EXO too.
Oh, he's
right?
not Indian.
Like,
Yeah. Belly's not Indian.
He's on
Belly's
EXO.
from like. I don't want to. Belly's from somewhere in the Middle East. Like I don't exactly know where, but yeah.
All right.
Anyway, yeah.
All right, my bad. I
think Palestine. I actually think he's Palestinian. I think he's
okay.
But whatever.
I actually thought that's what he was, but that's my bad. But with him, I think like his voice, he kind of has the voice when he raps of somebody who was really like in the streets. Because Belly actually talks about doing drugs a lot, right? No, not doing drugs, selling drugs a lot in his music. He actually sounds like somebody that came from that. Nav, to me, it's his voice. I guess it's the confidence in his voice. It's the swagger in his voice that just doesn't match the content for me. And so I think I can actually look past image. I think it's the voice part that's hard to look past.
Hey, well, the question is, does Nav's voice match his look? That's the question.
I think his voice matches his look.
And I ain't talking about the fact that he's Indian, because I don't have an issue with that personally. Like there's not an issue for me. It's does the voice match what you see? You know what I mean?
I don't think it matches the content. Like his voice doesn't match the content that he's talking about. It's almost
it.
like,
Okay.
and he's like
All
one
right.
of the few people that are like that. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the few people like that. Like, it's almost like when Machine Gun Kelly, before Machine Gun Kelly went through this whole like rock and roll retransformation or whatever, he was talking about being in the trap, talking about like, oh, I'm this, I'm that, and I just felt like his voice just did not match,
Right.
him being a quote unquote street guy. You know what I mean?
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like I look. I go to the music. I like Nav's music, even from day one. I do. Now, does he sound nerdy? Absolutely. Does he sound? Do I not believe what he's talking about? I kind of don't, just because like it don't sound believable. I'm with you on that. But damn, bro, I don't believe a lot of people. I mean, does that impact how good the music is? Like, not always. You know what I'm saying? But so now let's go back to the look or the image, because that's really what this is about, right? I think image plays a major part, and I think image is the most important thing when it comes to being a creative, or I should say, being an artist. Just because, like, that's the entryway to get people to listen to you and to really even take you seriously, or to really, like, everyone has an opinion before they press play, right? They make assumptions. They say, oh, damn, like, who the hell is that? Damn, I think it's going to be like this. They press play. If it doesn't match, people have an issue for the most part. For example, when I listen to your boy SG, or ESTG, as you said before, no disrespect to that man, but yo, he sounds so gutter and so street. And I'm not even a part of that life. I never was. I didn't grow up in that aspect, but like, the shit sounds so vivid. It sounds so undeniably theatrical and almost movie-esque. And it matches his look. Like, he seems like a dude who does not play, right? And so I agree. Like, when it matches up, it's this perfect harmony when it comes to artists. And when it doesn't, it begs to question, like, damn, is this person lying? Damn, like, what are they trying to gain out of it? Are they trying to fool the fans? I will agree that Nav comes across like someone who doesn't really live what he actually raps. I'll be honest. He doesn't.
I agree with you.
Does that make me say, damn, I don't want to hear it anymore? Not really, because I just said, I like Nav's music for the most part. So that's not always a deal breaker to me, unfortunately. Maybe it is for you guys. But yeah, I agree, bro. Like, the image plays a huge factor. And I know this is not necessarily about Nav. I know you introed it by talking about Nav, but this is more of a grand conversation. Image plays a major part, but there are some exceptions. And I think Nav is an exception because, in my opinion, his music, while it's not the best I've ever heard, it is very unique and in a specific pocket that does bring a lot of value to the game. And it's not just the production, it's not how he sounds robotic. It's like a combination of all of that shit. Like, it's weird. Nav is an exception. Let's be real. He is not the norm here. Because I would not advise any rapper or any artist to do what Nav has done. You're probably not going to be successful.
Right. No, for real. I agree with both of y'all. I definitely think it's a voice issue. It comes down to the voice. But I also don't think it's because he's Indian. But if it was because he was Indian, let's really talk about it. I know people scared of getting canceled, but we're going to talk about it.
Oh, here we go. See, ill-advised.
If we're talking about hip hop, and hip hop is predominantly black, what is wrong with black people wanting to listen to people that look like them?
Wait, what is wrong with black people wanting to listen? Say that one more time.
What is wrong with black people wanting to listen to people that look like them?
Okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
All right. So
that's in an ideal world, there's nothing wrong with that. But we all know humans.
Yeah. But like, if this is a cultural thing and you're a guest in it, I feel like you just gotta roll. You gotta take what comes with it. You gotta roll with the punches. You just gotta stand in where you're at and just keep grinding. But don't sit here and complain about your positioning when it's like, bro, you're a guest here.
You know what's interesting about Nav? Nav has
Well, for
historically had. Nah, I mean it's real. So here's go ahead,
me
Q.
talk.
You go ahead. Say
it a
something.
stack.
See, and
Am I wild?
I think that's no, I think that's the thing about like every topic that we talked about that I love. We all have a certain bias. Like we human. Like we all have what we like, what we don't like, what was red flags to us, what we think is good, what we think is bad, right? And in this case, I don't think you're wrong. I think you're bluntly honest. But at the same time, it's like somebody's gonna look at it and be like, well, then black people should never do pop or whatever, a predominantly white genre, country, you know.
But it's
People
not
want-
like
we don't want to see Lil Nas X. You know what I mean?
I don't want it to come off that way. It's not like I'm saying don't make hip hop. I'm just saying if you're gonna make it, you just have to. You kind of have to just not complain about every single thing. Like he's here, he's in it, he's getting billboards, he's doing the whole nine. It's not like he's really getting unfair treatment. It's just if consumers don't want to listen to somebody they feel like they can't identify with, then that you just have to respect that.
But he is trying to identify with black people, you know,
But-
based off his content.
But it's like even then it's like be yourself. If you're
Yeah,
saying, if you're saying you're wearing watches and you have all these girls and you're doing all this stuff trying to get approval from other people, you're already starting off wrong. Be yourself, bro. Gravitate. Get the people that would naturally gravitate to your music. Stop trying to get, you know what I mean?
I gotta say this, man. I gotta say this. You're bluntly honest. It's a real opinion. No disputes there. Nav has been walking on eggshells from day one in his career. Let's just call it spade a spade. I don't know if you guys remember.
I actually disagree with that.
No. Here's where I'm going with
disagree
this.
with that.
Here's where I'm going with
Because
this.
I
Hold on.
remember
Here's where I'm
the
going with
first
this.
album.
Early on in Nav's career, people got on his ass because he's Indian and he was saying the N-word. And he stopped.
You just don't do that.
No. If he's a part of the culture, like he really is, and what all this other shit, if it was believable, people would have gave him a pass, more than likely. I know we've never seen an Indian dude do this, so this is like a novelty. Like we've never seen this. So we gotta acknowledge, like, when we've never seen something, yeah, there's gonna be pushback if you're doing something that's gonna offend people generally. Like it's weird because Hispanic people have generally been able to get away with saying the N-word, whether it's in neighborhoods, whether it's through music. Society gives people a pass because they're like, oh, black people and Hispanics are joint at the hip to some degree, right? But here's an Indian guy who, even if he grew up in an area where it's predominantly black, which I'm not familiar with Rexdale, that Toronto area, so I don't know. But
He did say that. He grew up with a bunch
if he
of
grew up in an
a melting
environment,
pot.
correct. If he grew up in an environment, the masses don't want to hear that shit. They're like, bro, you're Indian. We don't care where you grew up. Like, it don't matter. Like, you can't say that. You're Indian. And so he's been walking on eggshells and had an identity crisis from day one. I agree. He does kind of complain a bit. He comes across like he's complaining. But I want to pivot this because I know this was not a particular topic. But Q, you brought it. You talked about this earlier, which was like how certain artists have cult followings. Right? Like you can have a cult following, but it can eventually turn into a mainstream following, right? So like, is Nav just at the point where his cult following is turning into, something a little bit more mainstream? Jordan, what you think?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. I think a lot of people talk about Nav. I think he is kind of turning into the mainstream.
for sure.
And you know what's
All right.
funny about it? You know what's funny
AQ,
about that?
I can't see you anymore, man. Hey, you're.
Okay, I'm gonna talk though. I'm gonna still talk.
Yeah,
I
do your
can
thing.
Because I can see mine. So all I was gonna say was, it's funny because hip hop, like, more and more hip hop is showing that it has so many different types of fans. That's what's so beautiful about hip hop these days. Like, remember back in the day, it was like either you're a street hip hop fan or you're a book bag hip hop fan. There's no in between. Now then it became like you're a southern hip hop fan or a street blah 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 blah. Now there's so many different types. There's the acid hip hop You know, there's if you're a fan of alternative hip hop, commercial hip hop, it's all good. There's a fan base for everyone, and those fan bases are so huge. I'm starting to think that fan base that Nav has is actually one of the most popular fan bases. The ones that people want to know what you about. So you pay attention to Nav's words even more than you will pay attention to ESTG. Because you're like, oh, ESTG is a street dude. I ain't really, whatever he's saying, yeah. But you actually analyze Nav. You actually pay attention to every single verse he says, his words, does it add up, his moves. And more importantly, there's so many people in this world that are just like Nav, guys. There's so many. There's probably more Navs, aka people that maybe want to live that gangster life, but their image doesn't match it. There's more people like Nav than there is than ESTG in this world. There's more kids that want to be gangsters. Now, and I'm not trying to say Nav wants to be a gangster. That's just kind of what I think that's the issue people have with him. There's more people like that he connects with than people can connect with ESTG. And so I think that's the real cool thing about Nav's story is that he's actually exposing a fan base that I think was quiet for a long time in hip hop.
I actually like that angle. I like it.
Yeah.
I like the angle. Like, cause it's real. Like you can say whatever y'all say. Y'all don't believe him. Y'all said all this shit. Like y'all opinion, unfortunately, probably don't even matter because you're right. Like there's the vast majority of people. I would call it outsiders. Like people who are outsiders to not the quote unquote cool kids. There's more people who are not cool kids than the cool kids. You get what I'm saying? And
Exactly.
So it is what it is. Yeah, they could probably relate. You're 100% right about that. Yeah.
I mean, guess what? How many Indian Americans are in this world? It's probably very close to all the other minorities in America.
Bro, the number's growing.
There's 1 billion people in India. So
yo, the number's growing. I hope honestly, man, let's put a button on that Nav combo because I think you bodied it at the end there, like to be honest. But we want to know what you guys think. I mean, is Nav somebody that you guys actually like? Is he somebody that you agree with? Is he somebody that you don't like his style? I mean, whatever. Feel free to hit us in the comments with all of you guys' opinions and ill-advised thoughts and stuff like that. So when we put these clips out, let us know, man. Let us know. We're at the end of the show, gentlemen.
Okay. No, we're not at the end of the show. Jordan said he has something for us.
Oh, shit, I forgot about that.
He said he
Hey,
has a
talk
bone
to
to pick
Talk
with
to
us.
Talk to us.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. Y'all are cool guys, man. You know, very respectable young men. You know what I'm saying? Y'all treated me with
he's
nothing
prefacing
but
Buttering us up.
and love. And I just want to give you guys your flowers real quick. Before we get into the meat and potatoes of the issue, I want to give you your flowers. You guys y'all have an amazing podcast. Y'all are killing the game.
Thank you, man.
Ratings Game Music. Great platform.
Yes, thank you.
Visit there often. Check in, see what's going on over there. I wanted to ask you,
Thank you.
could you break down like the grading? Like what's an A+ to you? Like, yeah, let's start there. What's an A+?
Ooh, what's an A+ to me? Have I ever given an A+ to somebody?
I'm not sure. I don't think so.
Biggie or something.
Okay.
An A+ to me
Maybe
is
summarize it like one word.
like
one or
the
two words,
album
maybe.
is the album like from start to finish, just like the perfect album to me. Like, are the songs great? Does it flow well?
Hey,
Okay.
Q, why it seem like you on the stand? Why it seem like you on the stand right now, man? Like, you good?
Hey, I like
You all right, bro? You all right, bro? Like, damn. Like,
I was
yo, why this?
I was shook.
Hey, yo, this joint felt like a deposition just now. Like, it's cool, man. Just relax.
Oh, what you want me to? You want me to pull the Lil Wayne? I don't remember. What did he say? He said, "Hey, didn't you? Aren't you the one that created Lollipop?" I don't remember. But anyway,
so
yeah, that's
basically-
pretty much how the album flows, song ratings.
So basically, an A+ is phenomenal. Okay, perfect. So like you would say like an A to A- would still mean like it's great, like really good type shit.
Yes, still a great. Yeah.
Okay, like two more questions. When we get to like the B plus range, what do you consider a B plus?
A B plus would be like.
I'm enjoying this shit.
I'm
yo.
chilling. What are you talking about? I'm chilling. I'm chilling.
I'm giving you your flowers.
I'm
No,
chilling.
this is hilarious. I'm sorry, bro.
I love this
I'm a juror
combo.
right now. I feel like I'm a juror right now.
This you know why I appreciate this, Jordan, because I get this question all the time. They're like, "How do you come up with your grades? How do you come up with this?" And I never get a chance to explain it. And so a B plus to me would be very damn good. Album flows well, but then there might have been like one or two misses. Like maybe the album was just a little too long. You know, maybe the album had one or two songs that I didn't really like. Like for instance, a good example would be Deeper Than Rap. I love Deeper Than Rap by Rick Ross. I think that's a classic album. I would put that as a B plus just because I felt like he had way too many features on there. Like if he trimmed down some of the features, I think that could have been more of a classic album. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so last question.
As opposed to like a Kendrick Lamar.
Appreciate you for the insight, by the way. Last question. What would you consider a B minus though? Like what kind of word would you use to summarize a B minus?
B minus, I would say same thing, right? Flows well, pretty decently.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, once again, there might be like 3 or 4 songs that I just didn't really care for.
Yeah.
Maybe
it's good. It's a good project.
There was a couple guests. You know what I mean? It's a good project.
Okay. So I appreciate you for answering those questions for me. I actually have a list right here. Hold on. Let me get to it.
Oh boy, yo, Jordan is an interrogator today. I like this, bro. I like this.
I actually have a list right here of about, I want to say like 20 plus albums on here. The lowest grading on this list is a B minus. So it's a pretty good list if you ask me. You would say that's a good list? You say that's a really good list.
B minus is good.
That's a damn good list.
Hell yeah. You get a B in any regard. B plus,
B
minus.
good.
Yeah, that's good.
Basically, I was on Instagram. I was on Instagram a few weeks ago, and I was just scrolling, and I seen you guys posted a clip, and the caption said, "2022 was a disappointing year in music for us." That's both of y'all. If I have a list of all these releases from this year that is on Ratings Games Music with the lowest score being a B minus, I actually believe that you said the Kodak Black album in that clip. You said the Kodak Black album was one of your favorites of this year. You know what that received? A B minus.
Yes.
A B minus, the lowest score on the list. So hold on.
Oh my god, bro.
What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Because I can go album by album if you want to do that. If you don't want to do that, that's fine. So what do you want to do? The ball's in your court.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna ask this. How many of those were A albums? How many albums did I give an A to? I don't know. Actually, this is actually a legit question on that list.
2. A minus. You gave 2 albums A minus.
2. Okay. Yeah. Which ones were those?
You gave Mr. Morale an A minus, and you gave Dawn FM an A minus.
Oh yeah, those 2 are great. See, those 2 are great.
Okay.
Uchay, I guess I'm going to talk for both of us. You can correct me.
No. Don't talk for me.
When we said, okay, I'll talk for myself. I'll talk for myself.
Okay.
I'll talk for myself.
Okay.
When I said it wasn't a great year for hip hop so far, it's mainly talking about like in terms of albums that were like groundbreaking from a popularity standpoint. Like for instance, there was one year we got Travis Scott, we got I believe Cardi B, we got Jay-Z, we got this, we got that. We got a whole bunch of like mega hip hop albums.
Okay.
Probably the wording I used was wrong there. I probably should have said 2022 wasn't a year of popular hip hop albums. That's probably the better word to use there.
You said disappointing, my brother.
There's been some good albums. Oh, did I say disappointing? Okay, my
Hey,
bad.
hey, hey!
I was
hey,
tripping
that's-
that day.
No, 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 no. I think what Jordan is referring to is the clip we put out on Instagram, if I'm not mistaken, that actually said disappointing in the caption. Is that what you're talking about?
That's absolutely what I'm talking about.
Hey! That's what you call marketing, sir. Just wanted to throw that out there.
But
Not copy, please.
So wait,
But not copy, please.
wait.
That's called marketing.
Wait.
FYI.
So what you're telling me is you didn't mean that. That was just clickbait.
So let me get in here.
Oh God, dude.
Let me get in here.
I was asking the questions.
That's not what I said. You twisting words, lawyer.
I'm asking you.
Your Honor, objection. Okay. No, actually, so for me, I don't. Q, you said you didn't mean to say disappointing. You meant to say popular. I think that's what you said. So for me,
Yeah, I meant to say like noteworthy. Like there wasn't a lot of noteworthy albums.
Right, and so disappointing is a stretch, right? That's a stretch.
Yeah.
However, for me, the better phrase I would use is like moving the needle. Like there's really nothing that pushed the boundary. Like it just was absolutely something that will not come and go. You get what I'm saying? I know you may not agree, but that's where I was coming from. Like
that's essentially what I was trying to say too.
Okay, I mean, yeah, that's really where I stand on that.
So for clarity, nothing pushed the needle. And what you're saying is not a whole
lot of music that pushed it to the point where if there's not a whole lot that pushed the needle, you can go up and be like, yo, there wasn't a whole lot. And to be extreme, you can say it's disappointing. That's where this is coming from.
So wasn't a whole lot to push the needle, though there was 20 plus really good projects, words of Q, that came out. But just it was disappointing. So before we get in your question, last year, how'd y'all feel about last year in music? Was that disappointing?
Well, remind me of some top albums that dropped. Because from what I feel, just in general, I feel like it was very good. But I got to go back and really look at like the full list.
I didn't make a list.
Let me go back and look.
I didn't make a list of last year, but we definitely got Donda.
Check it out.
You know.
Oh, phenomenal.
Donda,
we got
Certified Lover Boy. Now I'll say that's disappointing.
J. Cole. We got a J. Cole, James.
J. Cole. What else did we get?
I can't think of this album.
NBA Youngboy had like 5 albums, but no, I mean, like I said, I think it's more so noteworthy.
Okay, I got a decent list. I got a decent list right here. I got a decent list. It was a good year.
Okay,
we got the off season, like you guys said. Okay. We got King's Disease 2. We got Tyler the Creator.
Okay.
We got. I know this one was like this. People like this one, but either way, it's gets a lot of critical acclaim. The Melodic Blue, Baby Keem.
Really good.
People seem to really like that. Yes. I don't personally like it, but it's one that people talk about a lot. And I could kind of see where people are going with that, but this list is not very long. Vince Staples dropped. I don't know, man. The list is long. They're not really giving me what I want here. It's a bunch of indie artists.
I love Vince Staples,
but whatever.
I like that Jordan did this because it's at the end of the day. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of albums that I thought were good, right? Like B plus, and then like there's people like Denzel Curry that dropped that had a really good album, but it's like you can't compare this year in drops to the year, like I think there was one year where Jay-Z and all these every big name artist dropped, and like a lot of them dropped pretty much like damn good albums. It's like it's not comparable. Like there was not many albums to get excited for, and I think
Benny
that's
the Butcher,
not necessarily the music. Hold on. Not necessarily the music I'm talking about. In terms of like the anticipation for the projects, in terms of, there's some weeks this year that I just wasn't excited.
So basically, what you're saying is the big names that you were hoping for, didn't release an album. Not that the actual music was disappointing, but you wanted certain people to drop. And I guess they didn't drop.
No. I wanted the big names. Yeah. We didn't say it was the music was bad. You know what I'm saying?
That's how it came
Makes
off to
sense?
me. You know what I mean? Okay. Okay. You know what I mean? Because
The music is not bad because
it's a mighty
Joey
long
Badass
list.
dropped this year. You know?
I'm curious to know. Hey, what are some of the top ones on that list you got? Or what are some of the top ones?
I'll just read them off. I don't even got to say the great. The Weeknd, Dawn FM.
Okay.
Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Morale. Gunna, DS Forever.
Great
Pusha
one.
T, Almost Dry.
That's a good one.
Lil Durk, 7220.
That's a great one.
Saba, Care For Me. Conway, God Don't Make Mistakes. Earth Gang, Ghetto Gods.
That's a good one.
JID, Forever Story.
That's a good one.
Steve Lacy, Gemini Rights. Denzel Curry,
good.
Melt My Eyes.
Love
That's
it.
a good one.
Beyonce,
One
Renaissance.
of my favorites.
Joey Badass 2000. Brent Fayez, Wasteland. West Side Boogie, More Black
like
Superheroes. Future,
Love
I
it.
Never
I
Liked
love
You.
that one.
Vince Staples, Ramona Park.
Yeah.
You know what
Love
I mean?
that
I
joint.
love that
I
one.
got
Love that joint.
The Action Bronson, Coco Drio, Turbo. I
I
got
love
the
that
game.
album.
The game,
Okay.
Drillmatic. Listen to the reactions.
But
though.
you see
Like,
these-
So here's a, hold on.
look,
Let me, let me,
needle,
hold
though.
on.
It's like-
No,
no.
let me ask you. Hey, Joy, let me ask you. I gotta ask you
Let
this
Jordan
question.
talk. Let Jordan
Hey,
talk.
Joy,
Let Jordan
real
talk.
quick.
Hold on.
Let Jordan
Go
talk.
ahead, keep going.
At the end of the day, I don't even have to insert my opinion. I don't have to say what I think of these albums or what I think of the year because you said it for me. You did it for me, literally. You know how many homies I argue with, and they don't got a website that I can go and check up what they feel about certain things.
That's
So,
true.
I really
He
want
can hold you. He can hold you accountable.
Thank
You
you,
right.
Thank you for this.
I gotta
That's
say this.
true.
Though. I
That
gotta
is
say this
true.
though.
You
I gotta
got
say
me.
this though. I gotta say this.
Okay.
Jordan, thank you for
love it.
pulling cards right now. This is good. We need more black superheroes in our community, uplifting and making the community more accountable. So you're doing the work, my brother.
Thank you.
Out of that list, and even the list that we put out on, I think it was Instagram, of some of the ones personal favorites. Now I got to ask you, what is your top three out of that list? Whether it's even in that list or not, what are your top three albums of the year so far? And do they move the needle in your opinion? That's what I need to know.
So, out of order, definitely Gemini Rights. Listen to Gemini Rights a lot. Steve Lacy. I think The Weeknd, Dawn FM is definitely in there. Of course, I could put Mr. Morale, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm actually not gonna do that. I'm gonna go back to this list. Hold
More
on.
like an audiobook.
I'm gonna
not an
say
album.
I'm gonna say Melt My Eyes, Denzel Curry.
Whoo, there we go. There we go. I think that's
It's a good album.
I think that's a sleeper, dog. I really do.
It's a sleeper, but
good album.
it's a great
Good
album.
album.
It's phenomenal.
Denzel switched up
a good album.
like himself. So like I think that's a mighty great lineup, and I think that any year that you put it in, it would stand up against the top albums of that year as well. I'm gonna be honest. I think Gemini Rights, if Gemini Rights dropped last year, if Gemini Rights dropped the year before, or the year before, or the year before, Gemini Rights is a great body of work. Wasteland by,
definitely is. It definitely is.
Wasteland by Brent
100%.
Fayez, I think is a great body of work. I'm not saying it's phenomenal. I'm not saying
I
it's
think-
an A+.
I think Brent Fayez Wasteland is good. That's my personal opinion. I wouldn't go
good.
great, but that's just me. It's
It's
Okay.
good.
Same thing
It's good.
with Dawn FM. I think Dawn FM is good.
Now you
but,
tripping.
I've been consistent on that. This is my personal opinion. But
tripping
hey,
on
it's cool.
Even if you think it's good, you mentioned push the needle. Does Dawn FM not push the needle? Just
But that's one of like
Just the
four.
concept.
Okay.
The concept.
Jordan.
So again, I said this before. I used the word push the needle. I'm not saying that there were not any albums that
Did
fit
that album
mold.
push the needle? Did that album push the needle? Yes or no?
It did.
Artistically, yes. Artistically,
No,
yes.
it did. No. We're not gonna.
I'm answering the question. He asked me a direct question. I said artistically, yes. However,
No, does it
I
or
don't
not?
yes, but
Okay.
there's
Okay.
a reason why it does, and that's why I'm giving the reason.
Okay.
If you let me,
We don't
give
care
the
about
two
the
other
reason.
answers. But no, it does. You know why it matters? Because I said it was good, not great, but I'm still saying it pushes the needle. So that doesn't add up. So I'm trying to explain why. FYI.
Okay.
Okay.
What you mean, man? But anyway, yeah. So to answer your question, sure, yes, it pushes the needle.
Okay.
But it was, it's cool.
But I mean, but the thing is,
Cool.
let's be real. Out of that list you were talking, there's only about 3 that pushes the needle realistically. If we're being real, there's only about 3: Beyonce, The Weeknd, and what was it? There was one more. Because I love Pusha T. But Pusha T's album doesn't push the needle. I love it, but it doesn't push the needle in terms of it kind of just came and went.
Hey, yo, we
About
talking
90% of those albums came and went. And it's impact.
Impact.
Yes.
Are they going to be here next year? We going to be talking about these albums as highly? I know it's hard to do because we're in the moment. So we're obviously projecting, and we could be wrong. Right. But at the same time, a lot of these joints that drop, yes, they're good. A lot of them have been really good. But I think the number of albums that have, quote unquote, fit in that push the needle category is not a whole lot.
Listen.
It's not a whole lot.
If that's the conversation we're having, then maybe we need to shift that and manage expectations, because I'm genuinely surprised that you guys are expecting more than 3 albums to push the needle each and every year. And we're just talking about one genre. We're not even talking about pop, rock and roll, indie, alternative. We're talking about hip hop and R&B primarily. So I'm just shocked that you guys are expecting multiple albums to push the needle. That's a big deal. To push the needle, that means to shift culture.
Think about how many people are in the queue right now ready to drop. Like, I expect Lil Baby to push the needle. I expect when Gunna just dropped, but when Travis Scott drops to push the needle, Drake, Kanye, Jay-Z, I expect those people. Who else? What's his name, get out of jail, push the needle. It's Jack Harlow. He was supposed to push the needle. He didn't.
So what's push the needle?
Push the needle is make an impact. Make an impact.
All right, then I feel like all these albums did in their own respective way.
Trailblaze. Like push the needle, make an impact. You think all those out?
See, because when I hear push the needle, I'm thinking like shifting culture. Like they did something different. That's how I hear push the needle. So if you're saying make an impact, I think DS Forever made an impact.
It did.
Gunna
Which,
DS Forever.
That's another one that I would say push the needle. That definitely pushed the needle.
100%.
Gemini Rights pushed the needle.
I don't know about that. See, I think that one was unique.
Bad Habit is going crazy on the charts right now. On TikTok. You said impact. You said push the needle is impact. That's what you said.
Impact, but I guess.
So is it shifting the culture?
I mean,
going against the grain, or is it impact?
I mean, but it's.
But aren't those all cousins of each other? Like, don't they all kind of work together? Everything you just said.
Yeet could drop a song, it could go viral. Like the Minion song that he dropped, he could go viral with the Minion song. Did he push the needle on the Minion song? Probably not. But there's impact there. So you can have one or the other, or you got both. Honestly feel like to push the needle, you have to have impact. But you can have impact without pushing the needle. So I think push the needle has to be more than just impact.
Okay.
Push the needle has to be more than impact.
Fair enough. I like that.
Step above impact.
You think
I like
so?
where you're going. I like where you're going.
You know what I'm saying?
I like where you're going. I like where this. I think this conversation is pushing the needle. To be honest with you,
listen, man.
Now, will it be impactful? I don't know. It's like, no, I'm kidding.
Listen, man. I gotta hold my guys accountable. You know,
I rock with it. Listen, I like it.
I get what you mean by marketing. You just type that. You know what I'm saying? But it triggers.
Listen, brother,
I feel you.
Brother, it's his social media. All right, man. Like it's social media.
I got a little trigger.
Yo, you know, it's funny.
That.
It's interesting. Like, I know he said he had a bone to pick with us, and we'll wrap this show up, guys. I promise. Like, I was wondering, like, dang, what's he about to talk about? Then when you brought it up, it brought me back to the comment. You either wrote a comment or you DM'd us at the time. I remember this now.
I wrote a comment,
and he was like, you said something like, "Yo, we gonna talk." He said, That's what he said. It was very simple, but I knew he was triggered. I knew it.
We're gonna talk about it.
He was like, "Yo, we gonna talk about it."
About the
it was
disappointment
serious.
thing. By the way,
I-
we got to talk to the intern who put that out there. Who
gonna holler
created
at
that?
Yeah, man.
No, I'm
Maybe
just joking. That's
maybe,
us. That's us.
Maybe
That's us.
maybe we need to lean a different direction. But anyway, Jordan, this has been amazing as always.
sir.
You know what I'm saying? You are a special guest in the highest sense on our show, to be honest with you.
Appreciate
you
it,
know, third time's the charm. We appreciate you for joining us, obviously. And like I said,
Yes,
man,
sir.
come through whenever you want. Honestly, the door is open. I know when people say that, like, I feel like people be capping when they say that. Like, I really do.
Yeah.
I genuinely mean, like, yo, if you want to pull up, the door is open.
Yo, for
The
sure.
door is open.
Oh yeah.
When that Tory Lanez and Meg case plays out, I'm gonna give it up. So I'm coming back.
Oh boy.
Hey, yo.
All right,
Hey, I don't know if we want him on that episode. I'm not sure.
Nah, but I
we may need to pick the ones we want them. It's like, nah.
I think y'all be surprised. I think y'all be surprised where I stand on it. Though I ain't too like. I'm following the facts, bro. Yeah.
Ooh,
Interesting.
Okay.
I want to talk to you offline about that, just not online, but it's cool, man. Anyway, man, we hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Like I said, before you get up out of here, hit that like button if you're watching this on YouTube. If you made it this far, hit the subscribe button. Also, leave us a comment. And also, if you're listening to this on every platform outside of YouTube, subscribe to us on your favorite podcast listening app. Follow your guys on all the socials in the description. And we're about to dip. As always, if you're giving advice, just make sure it's ill.
Yes, sir.